This is the story that we start off with. We begin with fresh details coming out of the rescue mission in George this morning. Officials there now say that there were in fact 81 people working on the building that collapsed on Monday and not 75 as previously stated. That means that 44 people remain unaccounted for, while 8 have been confirmed dead.
Now, the 5-story building on Victoria Street collapsed within seconds, reducing the structure to rubble. More than 200 people, comprising emergency crews and other experts, are involved in the painstaking rescue operation.
The Garden Route District Joint Operational Centre, established for the Victoria Street building site collapse, has updated the figure for those present on site at the time of the incident on Monday, the 6th of May. This follows intensive discussions and scrutinisation of the safety records with the responsible contractors. The contractor has now confirmed that the number of workers on site at the time of collapse was 81. The total number on site at the time of incident, 81. Patients retrieved, 37. Patients deceased, 8. Patients critical, 16. Patients life-threatening injuries, 6. Patients minor injuries, 7. And this leaves us with 44 persons unaccounted for.
Well, let's bring in Newzroom Afrika's Sipha, who is tracking the story for us and has been doing so since Monday when it broke. Sipha, we did hear, of course, this morning that we are expecting the Labour Minister, Thulas Nxesi, to be on the site at midday today. What is his interest in the matter?
Well, Naledi, I think let's just start off by mentioning that earlier on we did mention that we have been seeing, or actually we can confirm that the Department of Labour, the acting DG, was here. But now to confirm that we are seeing some of the officials deployed by the Department of Labour on scene currently, going to sign in as part of those who will be on site, because anyone who is going to be on site has to come through. It's a process. You have to first come in and sign, and we've seen them, 2 of those officials that are currently on site. Now, Naledi, the interest would be, of course, the first part of it is that this is a labour matter, because these were workers that were supposedly employed by the contractor to build, or rather construct, this site. So that's the first part. And then also the second part would be looking at those permits and also labour regulations regarding that, whether or not some of the workers that were on here did have, permits as well. But more than anything is to look at some of those labour issues and regulations. Were they adhered to when they were employing those that were working on this construction site? Those would be the key issues that the Minister of Labour and Employment would be looking into. And of course, the questions that would be coming from us as well on the ground, several questions that have got to do with some of the labour regulations regarding the employment of, some of the workers here. I mean, you mentioned also earlier on that when we spoke to one of the fathers saying that his son did not have a working permit. But also, just to get a bit of an update here, Naledi, I'm bringing in the MEC of local government, Mr. Anton Bredell, from the Western Cape government here. And I think we just want to pose the question. I mean, Mr. Bredell, we've heard the numbers shifting from the 75 now, 81 people, 44 now unaccounted for. How did we get to the number 81 now? Were the talks with the contractor?
Yeah, we've been honest with you guys from day one. It's a moving target, and we work with the figures that we receive. Remember, just to take you a step back, when this occurred, we immediately said independent investigation, criminal investigation, etc. So the Department of Labour had to secure the building site or the office, secure all the documents. They then removed the documents to a secure site that was close to the disaster centre, and they started to work systematically through it to help with the identification process. The 7 survivors that was in a condition to help us, they were called in also to help us and provide photos, and for various reasons. First of all, to determine exactly how many people we're looking for, and secondly, to also give closure to the families, to get the right families out and to get the social workers the opportunity to work with them. So last night we received this figure. It's a sad because we've been looking for 38, now it's 44 again. But that's the figure, and we will work with that, and hopefully it will stay that, and hopefully we will get somebody alive out here. We're praying for a miracle.
Now, Mr. Bredell, talking about the independent work that the government is doing on the side, such as also, I mean, we've got Labour, looking into the numbers and the people that were on site, verifying, obviously, the numbers, but also the work that you're saying that you're bringing in consultants as well, engineers as well, to have their own independent investigations. But when we're looking at those investigations, more or less, estimate, when would we have some kind of an idea of the cause, or when would the engineers maybe bring you guys aside to say, look, this is what we found and this is what we've looked into regarding this matter?
Look, to be honest with you, there's a lot of now experts that look at footage and tell you what has happened. I'm going to say that we need to wait for the report in writing so nobody can duck out, because obviously this will end up in court. This will be criminal investigation, criminal case, and people, what is important, I think, is that we won't leave any stone untouched to get to the truth and help people accountable.
All right, so thank you so much, Mr. Bredell. That's Mr. Anton Bredell, MEC of local governance in the Western Cape, of course, giving us insight as to how exactly they got to 81, saying that the Department of Labour that we just mentioned now, Naledi, that they're currently on site, actually, they're sifting through all the documents, employment documents at the company and bringing them aside, and also some of the workers that were survivors here also helping to assist and identify those that are still underneath the rubble as well. For now, it's back to you in studio, Naledi.
All right, thank you so much. Sipha Kema there, our reporter, speaking to us from George in the Western Cape, where she confirms that Department of Labour officials are now on site going through the employment documents of those that were employed to work on that construction site.